Guys, so excited to present to you today on 7 systems that you must hit to have a 7-figure business. So a couple of months ago, I had like a really big reality check in my life. So me and my wife live in Manly on the northern beaches of Sydney. So like really, really beautiful part of the world. Very, very, very grateful to live here. And when we're kind of chatting to our real estate agent, we're currently renting. We're looking at buying like a couple of investment properties across Australia. But when we asked about the price of our property, we're actually shocked because it's worth $4.8 million, the property that we live in right now that we're renting. And I kind of like realized when I got told that, as I was like, hey, like how expensive is life to live? Like truly, right? We don't even have kids and stuff yet. So, we're looking at properties like around the northern beaches. You're looking at like $3 to $6 million for like a really, really nice family home. And then when you have kids, you've got schooling, the parents kind of watching would probably understand a few more of the expenses that pop in. So I think in the modern day world that we live in, being able to create a 7-figure business or a multi-7-figure business isn't actually something that's special. It's kind of something that's needed, guys. Like, as adults, as individuals, we need to be earning $2, $3, $4, $500,000 a year just to be able to provide a really, really epic life for our families, to be able to go and travel to Europe in summer and things like that. Now, I wrote down like 7 principles and 7 systems. I've been very honored to be able to create 2 7-figure businesses now. And there's just like a couple of key systems that if you implement these really, really well, I have absolutely no doubt in 2022, you'll be able to push above that 7 figures or start to move a lot closer to that. So the first one is you need to educate yourself. So you need to educate yourself on every functionality of business. So, if you think about the amount of courses you've done compared to those people who are doing, $5, $6, $7, $800,000 a month, it's just a big leverage in how smart and how talented you get. Your Facebook courses, email marketing courses on Instagram, how to read a profit and loss statement, your level of being able to learn and teach people sales, operations, like just the core fundamentals of business that, when you're having a conversation with someone, say if you're not doing 7 figures at the moment and you're having a conversation with someone doing, 7 figures or multi 7 figures, you'll be able to see very quickly how much education and how much really amazing content they have consumed so that they have the skills and the ability. So what most people do in a small business, guys, and don't get this like twisted, is usually what people do is they will learn the skill and then they will teach the skill to someone else and delegate it. When you're growing a business, you don't have the financial resources to simply hire someone for like $200K to absolutely dominate all your marketing, right? So you need to learn these skills and don't get that twisted. You should be studying minimum 1 hour every single day with notes, minimum. Right? That would be like the bare ass fucking minimum if you want to be able to earn absolutely ludicrous amounts of money in your fitness business, right? And have a chat to these people. Like you might know there's like not many people around who have actually owned and grown 7-figure fitness businesses. Have a chat to them about the courses they've done and get an understanding of their education of knowledge. But right now, if you're not doing 7 figures and maybe you want to get to higher 6 figures, 7, or maybe even multiple 7 figures, there is a bridge in your education and skill set right now that you must fill. And the only way you fill that is by being really, really consistent. Now, point 2 is you need to have a really good network. Right? You need to start to develop a network of people around you who can assist you to help you reach your goals, right? You get these by a lot of being in like really, really amazing mentorship programs and also surrounding yourself with other people who have 7-figure businesses, because the conversations that you have with, and this isn't like, I don't want anyone to take this as disrespectful. The conversation you have with someone who has 50 clients compared to someone who has 550 clients and is doing multiple 7 figures is obviously different. So you want to make sure you network and you align yourself with the right people. And point 3 isn't like a massive one, but it definitely takes a lot of discipline, right? You cannot go 1 week really good, 1 week really bad, 2 weeks good, 2 weeks bad. You need to be incredibly disciplined to make a 7-figure business. And discipline starts with self-discipline. Right? Are you doing the things that you promise yourself that you'll do every day? right? That's step one. Because as soon as the discipline comes into play, if you do want to create a 7-figure or multi-7-figure business, right, you then have to be really disciplined for your team, right? Because now you're going to have a team of 5, 10, 15, maybe 20 people who are relying on you to make sure you turn up to your team meetings, to make sure that you are able to there so they have systems to follow and implementation. Because if you're a really disciplined person, your team will become incredibly disciplined as well. If you're really hardworking, right? If you turn up on Saturdays and do Success Saturday, maybe do your content on the weekends, your team will do the same. Because in that small business, as you're growing it from like 200,000 all the way up to 7 figures and beyond, you're the leader. So they will just follow in your footsteps and you will set the benchmark every single day, every single week in your business. So you must be incredibly disciplined and also incredibly hardworking. Now, one of the ways that when you're growing to your, new 7-figure business is you need to be able to share your knowledge, right? You need to be able to share your knowledge with your external network, which will help you attract new customers. So say in the fitness industry, it's the programming that you know, it's the nutrition, it's how you keep people accountable, it's building like super kick-ass education portals, which 90% of fitness business owners don't do, right? But it makes you stand out when you make these education portals, right? So you have to share your knowledge with the world, right? With your clients. But one of the really big ones is, guys, you have to share your knowledge with your staff and your team. Because you're going to have a team now, right? You're going to have full-time staff. You're going to have people that you're paying a lot of money to be able to chase your vision and chase your dream for you. Because that's all staff really are. And it's exchange of money so someone else works with you so you can reach your, 12, 24, 36-month goals and they help you drive the business, right? They're like all your staff. You want to think of them like business partners, right? Because they are in the trenches for you every single day and you must pass your knowledge on to them. You have an incredible amount of knowledge on training, on nutrition, on mindset, on finances, all the dumb mistakes that you've made where you might have a mentor at the moment, or I hope you do. Whenever you have a staff, you become their mentor. You become their mentor in business, in life, in relationships, and you really want to make sure that you're sharing your knowledge with them so that they become absolutely incredible individuals. Because the more incredible individuals you have means they're working in your business, which helps you create a 7-figure business. Now, the biggest one that I think has really, really helped me in my journey is not being afraid to ask for help. Right? Guys, I left school in year 10. Well, I actually got kicked out at the start of year 11 because I wasn't going. So I was like truanting. I went to school maybe 2 weeks out of a term and they're just like, dude, you're out of here. Right? I thought I was going to make NRL at the time. Didn't, had an ACL injury 3 months later. To be honest, in hindsight, I wasn't good enough anyway. But one of the things that I realized is I always knew I was a little bit behind everyone else, right? Because when I was growing up, I felt like getting kicked out of school and not going to university made me a less educated individual, right? So I always had this little internal feeling there. Now, one of the things that really helped me is being able to ask for help, right? I couldn't even name all the mentors that I've had over 11-year career. Right? Literally 20, 30, 40, 50 people, and not including all the little courses that you've had. But being able to ask for help, right? And then one of the biggest ones that I ever had is I remember I had a mentor about 5 years ago. And for those who've been following my story, our gyms are about to go bankrupt. So we were losing about $13,000 to $15,000 a month when we went to our new facility, right? I went to a seminar one day. And there was a fitness business owner there. He had 10 clubs at the time. And I remember I had to pay, I think it was $1,500 a month for that course, or maybe $1,000 a month. And at that time, my business was losing $13,000 to $15,000, right? One of the biggest decisions of my life. But being able to ask for help is what that coach helped us do over a 2 to 3 year period, was literally go from 120 members all the way up to 1,200. From 1 clubs to 3. And all I did is I asked for his help and I kept saying, what would you do if you were in my position? Right? What would you do right now? Would you open another club? How would you do it? What is my marketing ad spend budget? I remember once I went to Bali with him and that retreat was, I think it was 5K. We were making some pretty good money at the time, so there's not that full story. We weren't making any money. But I went on one proviso with him. I go, I'll go to Bali with you on this retreat if you give me 1.5 hours of your time, and I can interview you and ask you all the questions I've ever wanted to ask you. So I've got to sit down with this multi-7-figure business owner, and I had 63 questions that I asked him over a 2-hour and 15-minute period. And that was my dossier to go from 1 club to 2 to 3. Literally every question you'll imagine. I still have it on my phone at the moment from like 4 or 5 years ago. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Now, you need to, on point 6, guys, there is so many mentors out there. So many fitness business mentors. Tons, right? I'm sure your inbox gets blown up. I'm sure you listen to like a plethora of podcasts. They're just fucking everywhere coming out of rat holes. Now, the really key is when finding a mentor. There's only one key that you really want to look for. Has your mentor achieved in their life what you want to achieve? Because with your mentors, you're following in their footsteps, right? If you want to have a 7-figure fitness business, I hope that your mentor has had a 7-figure fitness business before. Because if not, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to these people, they have no fucking idea or clue how to create a 7-figure fitness business because they've never done it. No idea. Don't buy into that stuff of like all businesses are the same. They have no idea about going through the DA issues, what your marketing ad spend should be when you open, how to incentivize staff, how to build your trainer levels, what to do when a staff member leaves, how to multiply your marketing across like 3 different ad accounts and things like that, right? So you want to make sure that you pick your right mentors, right? And pick mentors based on the goals that you have. Okay, if it is a 7-figure fitness business, make sure for damn sure that you're not signing up with a course with some hack job who's never had a 7-figure fitness business. And just ask them, go tell me how big your business was, right? And it will give you a really clear answer. And that's a really big problem at the moment with internet marketing, with the mentors that you find, is they've actually never achieved anything. They maybe just learned how to run a Facebook ad. Cool. Facebook ads are great. They don't make a 7-figure fitness business because you guys know there's so many more factors in play with sales, with retention, with staffing, pricing. Facebook, where you're not one funnel away from a 7-figure fitness business. You're not one Facebook campaign away from a 7-figure fitness business. There is a series of about 100 different things that you need to tick off and tick off really, really well. And the last one, guys, is learning from failure. And I have failed so many times in my life. We started an InBody business, failed. What else? We've done multiple JV partners, failed. I've had business partnerships in certain businesses that failed, right? Every single day, every single week, you're going to have things that you fail on. I remember once I sent, we used to have an email list of about 9,000 people, right? And we sent out a thing. We have this system called a war plan with an offer. Could you imagine messaging and emailing 9,000 people and getting 0 replies? Could you imagine that? Because that's happened to me, right? You want to learn from your failures and know that your failures, they don't define who you are as a person. They don't mean that you can't create a 7-figure business or multi-7-figure business. They're just a really good thing to learn from, right? You need to be able to bounce back from your failures. And you know, one of the things that I like to do every single week and especially every month, and we do it 90 days, is it's kind of like an operations report. So at every single week I've got these like pillars in my life. So health, wealth, and relationships. Now, what I like to do is cover what did I do well this week, what didn't I do well, and what lessons did I learn. So that way you're able to do these operational reports on all the things that are happening, right? And if you do ever send I hope never that you send an email and text message out to 9,000 people, get no replies, right? I hope there's not weeks. We had once had a week period where we got one lead for $1,400. So imagine paying $1,400 for one lead. Happened to me, right? It's happened to me before. Now, you don't want to let these failures, right, define who you are. You don't want to let these failures stop you from chasing your dreams or changing your goals and adjusting. You want to make sure you do your operation report. What did I do well? Like, let's say in the message that I sent to 9,000 people, what did I do well? At least I had a fucking crack. At least I had a dig at trying to get more members and trying to change lives. That's something that I did well. I knew how to send the text. I knew how to send the email, right? Got more efficient in that. What I didn't do well was the ad copy and what the actual offer was. That's where it really funked. So I go, what can I do better next time? So one, I can reach out to all my mentors and find a better type of copy, right? I can also improve my copywriting, and I can go and search around the plethora of different options to find offers that make a mark every time you send them, every time you offer them, do an offer improvement. So once I did that, once I recovered after like my ego got absolutely smashed, I was able to then recreate the reel, improve for the next month, and start to get better results. So guys, never let your failures define you. Always use them as a benchmark and a stepping stone to something bigger and something better. So if you want to make a 7-figure fitness business, if you want to make a lot of money, to actually just be able to have a nice house, to be able to, go to Europe with your kids, all those cool things that money buys us, and it's just like the world is getting more expensive. Okay, it's not getting cheaper, it's getting more expensive. You need to educate yourself. You need to make sure you have a network of the right people, right? I use the example, hanging out with someone, and you don't want to cut anyone from your life, but hanging out with someone who earns $75K a year and is happy with that, compared to hanging out with someone who earns $500,000 a year and is pushing towards that $1 million, $2 million cash collected, that's what they take home, is a completely different fucking ball game. So make sure you have the right network. You need to be incredibly disciplined. You're growing this small company. Your discipline and your work ethic will translate through your entire company. Make sure you share your knowledge to the world, to your potential clients, to your prospects, within your programs, but also to your staff, because you are a mentor to them. Make sure you ask for help. You need to have the right people in your team where you could reach out to them, ask for help. Make sure that you have the right people guiding you, right? You want to learn from the successful. It's really, really important. And choosing a mentor, choosing a program is not something you should do because you just see a Facebook funnel, you jump on a call and they sell you, right? You really need to know what they've done in the past, what their values are, and a lot more about them before you just like dive into a program, which I know so many people do. Guys, because I did the same. I've had like a lot of really phenomenal mentors. I've always had some super shit ass ones as well. And guys, just make sure you learn from your failures. If you do want to create an absolutely massive business, you are going to fail time and time and time again. And so I like to say to people is like, if you realize that you're in business for the next 50 years, those failures don't hit you that hard. Those bad days or bad weeks don't affect you because you're like, hey, I'm going to be doing this business thing for the next 50 years, right? But you want to always learn from your failures, and you can do an operation report. What did you do well? What didn't you do well? What did you learn for next time? And it works really well to bounce back from any failures or any, little things that pop up along the way within your journey. So guys, I hope you got a little bit of value from today. I really, really appreciate everyone tuning in on a Saturday. Look, if you ever want to work together, I'm super proud to say you had a multi-7-figure fitness business. We've got an inner circle program. It's like $50 a week. Feel free to send me a message on any of my social media channels. We've also not got me in there. We've got Dylan, Jackson, Brad, and Dan, who have all had really high six-figure fitness businesses as well. Would really love to mentor you. Would love to be able to have the ability to change your life, to help you earn a lot more money, to help you help a lot more clients, and really, really grow your fitness business. I hope you guys have a really epic day. Any questions, guys, just reach out to me anytime on social media.